So welcome inside our Sally Port. This is where when a suspect is taken into custody, arrested, and brought back to Radnor Township Police Headquarters for their live scanning and processing, which I'll show you in just a moment. They're brought into this secure facility here. The garage door will come down to make sure that they're safe in here. An officer will take them out of the vehicle and into our processing area. Additionally, in our Sally Port is where we store Highway Patrol's motorcycles. We're very fortunate to have 5 Harley-Davidson Road Kings here in Radnor Township. You can tell 2 of them are on patrol as we speak. Officers from the Traffic Safety Unit and Highway Patrol, Officers Janoski and Lacey, are probably out serving the public right now on the 2 wheels. So they come in here and this is where they're stored. Our motorcycles are actually driven up until the inclement weather in December. Officer Janoski many times drives it until there's snow on the ground. They are a huge asset to this police department. We bring them up on the Radnor Trail. They're able to traverse between buildings on North Wayne Avenue, Garrett Hill, and some of our business districts, as well as the large corporate centers along Matson Ford Road and North Radnor Chester. So you'll see them all over the place. So welcome inside our processing and holding cell area. Here at Radnor Township, we have 5 holding cells, 4 for adults and 1 for a juvenile. Obviously, we have to follow certain rules that are brought down from the state of Pennsylvania. Juveniles have to be separated from everyone. That's why they have their own cell. We also have a bench here that we're able to secure a suspect to. They would sit here while they're awaiting their ride if they're being released from custody by the police department, more of a temporary holding location. So a huge part of our job is evidence collection and retaining information. So if we have evidence at a crime scene, which we call physical evidence, perhaps a suspect dropped a glove or moved a piece of your personal property, we would take that as evidence and one of our detectives would later process it or it would be sent out to the state police lab. When we get that, we bring it back to our evidence holding area here in the police department where it is logged, it's given a barcode. This way we can check the chain of custody and it is constantly overseen by our evidence technician, Kevin Gallagher, as well as the detectives who are assigned to the case. We secure it in these secure evidence lockers, similar to a locker at school. There's a combination to unlock it. We press this button, which I'm not going to do because this might need to be used later. We press this button and then it will lock it. So you place the item into evidence, you lock it, and you tag it with the 003 number or whatever corresponding number that we have. We do have a refrigerator in here as well. You might find that odd, but that's actually utilized when someone is suspected of driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs. In the state of Pennsylvania, you are requested to supply a sample of your blood. If you do provide that sample, we place it in here for secure holding, and in the future we will again send it out and have it tested and get the results back to see what was in the blood and if the allegation of the crime holds. Also in our holding cell area, when the suspect's brought in through the doorway in the Sally Port that we showed you earlier, we take them over here to our processing machine and we take their fingerprints. Why don't we go check that out? So this is the C-pin machine, not that you need to know that, but this is what we take your electronic fingerprints of. And when I say yours, I hope we never have to take your fingerprints. But if someone is taken into custody in Radnor Township and brought back to the police department, this is where their fingerprints will be taken. It's all electronic. You roll the fingerprints just like back in the day, or perhaps you've seen in the movies when they've used ink. You'll roll the suspect's fingerprints and it'll show up on the computer screen here. As soon as you submit these fingerprints to the Pennsylvania State Police's repository, they review them. And the reason why they review it is because there's actually a national database where fingerprints are stored. And oftentimes detectives and criminal investigators are able to track down fingerprints and perhaps tie you to another crime, or tell that that person is lying about their identity or perhaps a suspect in a crime in a different jurisdiction. We have the fingerprints here and can then share them nationally across the country. In addition to taking your fingerprints, we also take your photograph, oftentimes known as a mug shot. We'll ask the person to come in, stand on this white line here. We have a camera similar to the camera that we're talking into right now, and we will take 3 different photographs. We'll take their face, we'll have them move to the side to get a side picture, and the other side. We also, if a suspect has tattoos, we might ask to take a photo of their tattoos. Many times in criminal investigations, descriptive features such as tattoos or injuries like a scar or some type of deformity help in assisting identify a subject and ultimately lead to a conviction in a crime. So we will take all of that as a part of the record and retain that information so we can do our best job, but also assist other places to solve crimes elsewhere. So once we have the suspect processed and photographed as well as fingerprinted, they would be released on their own if the crime so fit, or they would be brought out to the Delaware County Prison by one of our Delaware County constables. If they were held here, we do have those holding cells. We're not going to show you them. They're not that cool anyway. But I do thank you for taking time to check out the processing area, to check out the police car, and the operations here at the Radnor Township Police Department. Hopefully, once restrictions lighten, you can come and check out the police department in person and we can give you an actual tour. But we might have to wait a little bit more for safety purposes. So on behalf of the entire Radnor Township Police Department, thank you very much for taking the time to watch these videos. I'm Officer Brady McHale. If you ever need anything, please reach out and always dial 911.